And if anybody wants an idea of what a narrative defense is like, go back and watch the Robert Tellis trial from last
Oh
summer.
my God.
That's one. I mean, he did have an attorney, but he did kind of like try and represent himself a bit as well. And that was one where it was a very, I mean, narrative defenses are not very common, but the fact that he gave it, but he was in one too who I almost think believes his own bullshit. Not quite to the level of Lori, but I think he's up there.
Oh yeah.
Where he really believes that despite having like the whole getup for what the
All of
murderer
it
was wearing in his
in his
garage,
house.
cut up in pieces, all the evidence is there, but somehow it's not him. I mean, it's that same sort of I'm going to completely defy reality with what I'm saying and expect you all just to believe it without question. That's kind of what I'm feeling like this is going to end up being like this this summer.
Yeah, and Tellis is a good call. Definitely team photo
Yeah.
in terms of like the level of craziness, man. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, because like I covered that trial and it was exactly like you said. It was just delusional.
Yeah.
No, it's like I know you're trying to sell this thing. It's like your baseline concept there may have had some validity in terms of, all right, yeah, this reporter, certainly Gurman was definitely after you,
Mm-hmm.
but he was after you because you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, there's a
He was just
reason.
trying, right? He was just trying to expose you,
Yeah.
So it's like kind of that, like he created, you know what it reminded me of? It like his narrative, the creation of his kind of his entire revenge scheme, that he was being set up thing was very reminiscent of Adelson's defense,
Yeah.
Charlie Adelson's defense. And, I mean, he was able to get Rauschbaum to buy into it, or maybe Rauschbaum is the one who came up with that theory. And, I mean, and Rauschbaum, who was Adelson's lawyer, really rode that pony all the way to the finish line,
Yeah.
and it's like, and he believed it. Like you could tell, like Rauschbaum, like believed it. And it's like one of those weird things is like, you have to understand his defense attorneys, like when people see on TV shows that like the defense attorney's like, I'm your lawyer, you have to tell me the truth, like that is not real life.
Yeah.
Like, and people fucking lie to their lawyers all day every day. And if Charlie was like, he never cracked for Rauschbaum, and he's like, this is what happened, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, like I'm a dentist, like this isn't even my kid. Are you think that I would do, you know what I mean? Like whatever he sold him on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like but the difference in the Tella's case is like, I really respected his lawyer.
Yeah.
Because I got the sense that his lawyer, the reason that ended up being this kind of situation where it was the narrative, is that his lawyer was not willing to put him on the stand, because I thought that somewhere in there he was concerned with suborning perjury.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that was kind of their workaround. Because I found his lawyer to be, in a very difficult case. I never feel anything but empathy for fellow defense attorneys that are, because no one was telling Robert Tellez to take a plea.
No.
It's like when you are an attorney for a defendant who is dead set on going to trial, you know what that means? You're going to trial.
Yeah.
Like you don't, like, all you can do as an attorney is advise against it. It's their choice.
Mm-hmm.
It's their constitutional right. We have no goddamn say so in it. So when you are like the lamb being led to the slaughter as a defense attorney in a case where you're going to get hammered, I mean, you just have to go in and do your job, which is make sure that it's a fair trial,
Mm-hmm.
make sure that your client understands the rights, make sure that the cops do their job legitimately, and the same with the prosecutor. And that's it. Like you've done your job, and you can walk out of there like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
I did what I was supposed to do.
Sure.
And it was the result, I mean, because a lot of times, as a defense attorney, if they have the evidence and they did it the right way, they're going to get the conviction.
Yeah.
And you don't have to walk away feeling as if I lost. You should walk away from that situation like saying justice was served and I did my job. You know what I mean? Like people just don't understand that aspect of defense lawyering, but I digress.
Sure.
I'm
One other point I want to bring up and get your reaction on Lori Daybell. She wants the Vallow removed from any proceedings, any documents with her name on. Brought this up right away at the proceeding the other day. I found that interesting, considering Chad did throw her under the bus in his trial. Obviously, it didn't help him at all, but he did it. The fact that she's still there, standing by her man, at least that's how I take it, by not wanting to have Vallow in the name anymore. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I think from the purely strategic perspective, I imagine that that's something that her former attorney and now backup attorney told her that she should do, because it just, I mean, look, it doesn't, it doesn't in the minds of a jury change the fact that they're going to learn that that was her ex-husband, right? But in terms of like kind of having the name attached, I could see why she'd want to get rid of it and just have it be Lori Daybell. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But it connects her to Chad more. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, getting rid of the
I don't know how much of Chad is going to be brought into this trial.
Sure, but I would think if you're going to argue anything that Chad was more of a mastermind, the last thing you'd want to do is still say, "And I still have his name by choice." I would, but I think she still loves. I'm guessing they. How can they communicate? You would know this better than I can. Do they have any way to communicate if they're married? But
I mean, I don't know if, because she has active cases going on, if they're allowing them to communicate telephonically.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like,
those would be some calls.
Those would be amazing calls, right? The jail to jail calls would be amazing. Yeah. And if they happen, people will get their hands on them. They'll FOIA the hell out of those things. But like, I don't know if she will throw him under the bus. If I'm Lori Vallow Daybell, I'm just going to be like, you don't have any evidence that I did this. Like, it was not my hand that pulled the trigger. Like, how are you going to prove it? Like, you know, and just kind of lean on them really trying to sell their circumstantial evidence that she did it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's going to be an interesting trial in that sense, in terms of really how the prosecution is going to make their case. That's what I'm most interested in, because it's easy for us sitting back here, us knowing everything that we all know about this case. In theory, if you have a jury in there and they don't know jack shit about this case, you know, it's a different thing, because and again, this is going to be a huge detriment to Lori, because she's not going to know what to object to.
Yes.
I mean, like she's just gonna, and if she does make a proper objection, she's not going to know how to make the argument as to why it's objectionable. If this judge has speaking objections, which, if I'm that judge, I'm definitely having speaking objections, because just so I can say, well, ma'am, that's not what this objection means at all. So, you know, you're going to have to go back and read the book.
And this is it's a different case. This one is a little bit harder to prove than the last one. If she had an actual attorney, she may win some of the arguments, but the fact that it's her, that's just like the nail in the coffin, right? It's like, you have no chance now.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, that was my message to all those folks out there that want to see her go down hard. Well, now you're getting your wish. Yeah. And like, especially like Colby, you want to see your mom go down, you're getting your wish. It's like, you may not want to have to hear her voice, but she's going to go down so hard on this, because she's just not going to have any way to defend it, because she's not going to know how to go about doing it.
Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Be sure to follow us wherever you download podcasts, and especially Apple Podcasts, where you can get advanced episode and premium content on our premium channel right there. Also, be sure to follow us on social media so you don't miss any breaking updates on the stories that matter to you most. We're on TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook. Just search Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Brueski, and you'll find us right there. Again, thanks for watching.